I think that the decision that women have made, to more and more go back to the home or to use the help of midwife is an important one. And certainly there is a struggle. In the States, it's been really the product of a whole struggle and has many reasons to it. One reason is that women more and more are terrified, to go to give birth in public institution, in public hospital. Unless you are a well-to-do woman and they can go to a private clinic and, you have all the services you want and you can take all the time you want to deliver your child. In the public hospitals now, in the United States, you got 2 hours. After the waters break, 2 hours. You got the child out or you have a cesarean cut. So the number of cesarean, you are on an assembly line. You give birth. Giving birth has been industrialized. It has a very fast tempo. The state does not have time to wait for your child. Proletarian women do not have the right to follow a natural rhythm. They got their little time, and if they don't produce the child in the little time, then they have to be cut up. Number one. Number two, many women feel that when they go to give birth in a public institution, they are like, it's a very inhuman process. That what could be a powerful experience, one of the most powerful experiences in women's life, become a source of fear, a source of terror. Because you're treated like an object, like a machine who has to produce within time. You are hooked up to all kinds of gadgets, right? You are in a very passive position, right? And then you have a doctor that engineers everything. And you're made to feel you're not active in that process. You are expropriated of your activity. You're not almost participated. You are reduced into something completely passive. So women are rebelling against that. And this is why they also want to go back to the home. And also the cost. Now, even you have, in the United States, you have to pay at least $3,000 or $4,000 to be able to deliver. That's a lot of money. And in many cases, it's not covered. So it's very, very expensive to give birth in an hospital. In addition, when you now go to hospitals for low-income people, not the private clinic, but then they give you at the end of the delivery, they give you they give you a blood test, and it's very scary because it's out of those blood tests that they decide, you used some drugs, right? And you can go directly from the delivery room to a jail. Can you imagine? You give to birth, but out of your delivering, when you were supposed to spend your time with your little baby, you can be separated from your child and you can be sent to jail, as it has already happened to a number of women who were told, the blood test showed that you used some drugs. So they come and arrest you. So giving birth is becoming really a nightmare, if you are a poor woman. And there is a continuity. We discover, for example, discussing this issue in Italy, for instance, that a lot of immigrant women, the social workers took away the children from a lot of immigrant women when they lost their jobs, not because of their fault, but because the places where they worked. And then they had no money, they went to social work and they said, well, can I have some help? And the next day the social worker comes to the house and takes the children away and says, well, you cannot support them. So there is now, the state in Italy has created an institution called the House of the Child, where they bring children that they take away from poor women, mostly immigrant women, and then these immigrant women have to fight to take them back, but it's not always easy. And they can only see the children, once a week or every 2 weeks under the supervision of a social worker. So to put all this in a context, there is obviously an initiative by the state. It's an initiative that has many sides. For example, population control in Africa. You know, women are bringing poverty into the world. They're making too many children. You know, in this situation, yes, the poverty is because of women who are reproducing too much, or deciding, you know, what are the rules that women have to follow when they're pregnant, what you can do, what you cannot do, taking away your children when you're asking for some help from the state, so that you're not encouraged. In fact, you are discouraged from asking any help from the state, right? So there's a whole initiative by the state to take over the children of working class women, proletarian women, low income women. And particularly immigrant women are one of the main targets.